Leisure countryside plus male lead sick beauty plus sweet cookies. Tang Su has been hearing the voices of animals since she was young. She travels through parallel worlds, resigns, and returns to her hometown to start a live broadcast of ancient Hanfu. Why? Is it a protected area? There's a national treasure tracking me, take it away quickly. National treasure. Stupid and cute, with a crooked head, innocently licking the ice skate and sticking her tongue tightly. You just stay at my house and don't leave, right? Tang Su became red after rescuing a silly tongue from a giant panda stuck on ice, followed closely by a red fox in tea, a foolish beauty with a green-tailed pheasant. Because she had picked up too many cute little ones, she was also affectionately known as the head of Sichuan Siguniang Mountain Kindergarten. She shares Hanfu culture, ancient artisanal cuisine, romantic and interesting rural life, which has become popular abroad. Leading the global ancient China chic, countless overseas netizens scramble to imitate. Chapter 1. Leisure Bashu, Guobao steals vegetables. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. A small courtyard of Bashu farmers surrounded by mountains. The naturally carved rural scenery is beautiful and peaceful, with a thin morning mist, like a fairyland on earth. When the phone was set up and filming began, a delicate and white face appeared on the screen in the live broadcast room. The gentle breeze brushed past, the bamboo leaves rustled, and the sunlight penetrated and sprinkled. Tang Su brushed away the snow on the bamboo leaves, seemingly wearing a layer of light golden light. As soon as the live broadcast opened, a passing netizen was attracted in. What a beautiful natural oxygen bar. The air looks really good, like a fairyland, and the little sister is also so beautiful. High-definition countryside shots. Let people relax all over. What kind of fairy countryside? It's so beautiful. Even the office dogs who get up early and squeeze into the subway have been cured. This is Tang Su's third month traveling through a parallel world. As a preschool teacher, she protects the children in her class, blocking the crazy man with her body in being stabbed in the heart by a knife, so she can't feel anything. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself crossing into the parallel world of Tang Xiaosu's body. Almost the same name, almost the same facial features, but this body is thinner and weaker, and the nutrition is not keeping up. Tang Su didn't know what had happened to the original owner and couldn't feel the existence of the original owner's consciousness at all. She dared not be detected and instinctively covered up the fact that her consciousness had been transferred. Using her identity as a peasant girl Tang Xiaosu, she continued to live. Fortunately, the original owner, like her, came from Siguniang Mountain Village in the Cheonglai Mountains of Bashu, which gave her a little confidence. Tang Su casually tied a loose bun with a bamboo hairpin and smiled lightly at the camera. Good morning, my name is Su, and Cheonglai in Bashu is my home. The Bashu Rural Live Room started broadcasting on the first day today. If you like it, you can click follow. Her voice is clear and sweet, her smile is sweet, and she is wielding a small knife to cut bamboo strips, working with agility. The curled hair swayed with her bamboo shavings, slightly messy, giving off a unique sense of beauty. A rural girl who works without any affectation caught the eye of passing netizens. What a sweet little sister's voice. Sweet, so sweet. Who knows, my family. It looks delicate, but the knife in my hand is so sharp. The contrast is beautiful and sharp. The blood tank is empty. It seems like it's turned into this bamboo sharpening knife, held in my girlfriend's hand. There's something wrong with you upstairs. You can't even argue. Tang Su shaved the bamboo strips, polished the bamboo skin, and casually wiped the sweat with the back of his hand. The morning mist dispersed, and the winter sun shone on her oval face. Her face was white and red, and her eyes were watery. Even the act of wiping sweat made people want to protect her. Worry-free. Leisure pastoral little sister, beautiful and elegant. People can't take their eyes off it. Tang Su wiped the hot sweat off his forehead before standing up and getting closer to the barrage area of his phone. She watched more and more people enter the live broadcast room, hesitated slightly, and smiled lightly. All of them, boys. She was originally a rural woman who dropped out of school after graduation and did not have the skills to work outside. Before her time traveling, as a fan of ancient culture, she not only worked as a preschool teacher but also designed hanfu and studied various classical traditional skills after work. She wants to share the national style, the beautiful scenery of her hometown, and also help open up sales channels for unsold fruits in her hometown. So, she created the Bashu Rural Live Room to share daily rural life online. But unexpectedly, all the fans who followed her were boys. Isn't there any girl who likes to watch it? Tang Sugang stood up, revealing a Han-style heavy industry embroidered Tang-style chest-length skirt. Fans in the live broadcast room just realized that the anchor girl was actually wearing hanfu. Just now, Tang Su sat close to his phone, and they were all looking at his face. Now they realized that this hanfu was extremely beautiful in Chinese style, which made their breath slow. How beautiful! The daily style chest-length skirt is embroidered with multiple heavy craftsmanship designs, with a fresh color scheme and elegant floral patterns, especially the chiffon gradient large skirt hem. The semi-transparent hollow floating sheet design exudes a graceful and ethereal aura, and the fabric hangs smoothly and sparkles in the sunlight. The fairy-like Spring Festival Gala with the same style of Yenyu is a hanfu that Tang and Su personally transformed and designed after crossing parallel paths. She cut and modified the old linen clothes in Tang Xiaosu's wardrobe. Renovation design was her biggest hobby before traveling. As she was about to finish, she took out the old chiffon skirt that was pressed against the bottom of the box, gritted her teeth, and changed it into a gradient large skirt hem. To achieve outstanding live streaming results, you have to spend costs. The original owner had nothing, no pocket money, and no personal strengths. If he wanted to turn things around, he could only sacrifice his own money. Tang Su is very confident in his own transformation skills, and this hanfu chest-length skirt has been successfully transformed. A female fan likes and follows. Another female fan likes and follows. In addition to boys, female fans have gradually entered the live broadcast room, adding a lot of popularity to her originally deserted room. She slightly raised the corner of her mouth, with a sense of achievement that was recognized by others. National style, with a large audience. The ancient style live broadcast room is also loved by many people. She seemed to have found a like-minded person in a strange world, and her lonely heart gradually warmed. You gain 10 out of 10 followers, and the Splendid Mountains and Rivers system starts generating data. At the end of each live broadcast, points will be earned based on popularity and number of fans. Points can be exchanged for items in the mall, and advanced levels can be achieved through exchanging proficiency, enabling more system functions. Do you agree to bind? Tang Su's mind emitted a warning sound. She just felt like she was hallucinating and wanted to refuse, but the prompt sound rang again. After binding, a beginner's gift package will be distributed. A cucumber, a 500 ml thermos cup, a Han Shang Huayan Tang made chest-length pleated skirt, a return to Han Tang made chest-length jacket and horse face skirt, and a capital city Nanzhuang Sanskrit-inspired skirt made in Tang. A set of ancient-style skirts is still a highly acclaimed brand in the industry, which has a great impact on Chinese-style enthusiasts. She took a deep breath and was refreshed. Ow! If you give it this way, I won't be tired anymore. She just responded in her mind, and the prompt sound jumped again. The system of Splendid Mountains and Rivers has been successfully bound and a beginner gift package has been distributed to the reward box. Please drag the reward box while using it and click anywhere on the panel to use it. Don't worry about running out of personal belongings anymore. Please earn points and exchange rewards as soon as possible. Tang Su attempted to drag the reward grid with consciousness. A fresh and tender cucumber was slowly dragged from the system reward grid to the iron pot in her designated stove. This brought great joy to her heart. The item really works. She dragged another 500 milliliters thermos and succeeded. The system is atmospheric, and the insulation cup produced is still made of high-quality purple sand inner liner material. She can't wait to earn more points. In the live broadcast footage, Tang Su, dressed in a clean and elegant robe and hanfu, skillfully flipped her fingers and began weaving bamboo strips. She is quick and straightforward in her work, without any affectation. The bamboo strips seem to have life between her fingers, weaving from long to long, gradually weaving into the shape of a small backpack. Seemingly simple bamboo weaving with intricate craftsmanship, her hair falls from her forehead and her gaze is focused. A rural courtyard, time is peaceful. The peaceful art style calms down the hearts of every passing netizen, and the noisy life slows down along with the rural scenery. The ancient traditional craftsmanship of bamboo strips brings a bamboo back to life and touches every netizen's memories of their hometown. Suddenly, I missed home. I want to go back to my hometown to have a look. The small backpack basket has been woven. Tang Su carried a small bamboo basket with a sense of achievement, stood up in the winter sunshine, and smiled brightly. Completed, the sudden movement startled the fluffy mess in the stove. The giant panda, who was enjoying stealing cucumbers from the stove, was so scared that the cucumber tips on its little paws fell off. Chapter 2. A short and weak JIO. Who is serious about playing with national treasures like this? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tang Su stood up with a smile, holding a woven small basket and showcasing the ancient traditional bamboo weaving. Under the winter sunshine, her fair, tender and clean skin can be easily broken by blowing, and her bright smile is still sweet. The coquettishness revealed unintentionally, with a hint of pride, almost made the fans in the live broadcast room spray nosebleeds. Protect the best Bashu little sister. Beautiful, so beautiful. I finally know what proud and delicate is. Proud and delicate is not about being proud, but about being delicate. The average LSP per person upstairs, it's all boys watching the anchor, right? I'm different. I only feel sorry for the little girl's finger cut. The edges of the bamboo strips are very sharp, and the anchor lady is so skilled in editing them. I don't think she gets hurt a lot in her daily life. It hurts. Are you all watching the anchor? Only I think this little backpack is well crafted. Bamboo small back basket, pick and press one cross stitch, the cross stitch has many holes. It was only when Tang Su brought the small basket under the camera that netizens realized how magical it was to weave small bamboo strips. Little bamboo basket, it's very beautiful. The camera swept past the environment inside the rural courtyard. They only then realized that the seemingly impoverished rural courtyard was very neat and clean inside. There are various household items woven from bamboo strips inside the house. Bamboo sieve, bamboo woven dustpan, bamboo woven sitting basket, jar-shaped basket woven from bamboo strips, dustpan, bamboo mat. All kinds of essential daily necessities in rural households are woven from bamboo strips, picked and pressed one by one. Who is the master of these tedious crafts? It can only be Tang Su. Tang Su was shooting with his phone in the farmhouse, his voice clear and sweet. In my hometown, there is a bamboo craftsman, also known as the ancient intangible cultural heritage profession that is about to disappear. When I was a child, my grandfather would teach me hand to hand to create a dish-shaped grasshopper cage using bamboo strips. These agricultural tools, such as bamboo screens and vegetable covers, were woven using the 5-corner eye technique, and the size of the holes could be adjusted according to the width, and thickness of the bamboo strips. When pounding, the rice is hulled and the water is used to pound the rice. The rice must be sieved through a sieve, the bran must be sieved, and then passed through a fan before it can be consumed. The screening of rice and bran is done in a sitting basket, and they are also woven with bamboo strips. She slowly strolled in the rural courtyard, as more and more bamboo and bamboo daily necessities entered the live broadcast room. Fans listened attentively as more and more passers-by flooded in. Number of fans plus 1, number of fans plus 2, number of fans plus 3. The peaceful years of Bashu farmers have touched their childhood memories. They have been shuttling through the noisy city for too long, almost forgetting every person, object, and scenery in their hometown. Some fans started choking up. Some netizens are also homesick. The Hanfu girl is both beautiful and stylish, very eye-catching. But what catches the eye more than the Hanfu anchor is her Chinese-style intangible cultural heritage bamboo strip craftsmanship, and the small bamboo woven back basket shines in front of everyone's eyes. In the fast-paced modern city, there are extremely few bamboo mills who understand this traditional Chinese art. The ancient and down-to-earth intangible cultural heritage of bamboo weaving brings a bamboo back to life and takes netizens back to their hometown. Gifts are being sent out one after another in the barrage area. You received a gift lollipop *11, reward popularity plus 11, you get a gift of Zhajiangmian *5, reward heat plus 20, you receive a gift of peach blossom swab *1, with a reward of plus 50 popularity. The gifts given one by one filled Tang Su's heart with a sense of achievement. The intangible cultural heritage inheritor, the bamboo craftsman workshop, was brought into the Bashu rural live broadcast room by IT. As a representative inheritor of intangible cultural heritage, the old bamboo craftsman was once received by the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. Now he is staring at the small bamboo basket in his grandson's live broadcast, his hand leaning on a cane trembling slightly, and his expression is moving. His weathered white hair rose in the wind, and his cloudy eyes shone with joy. The intangible cultural heritage technology that had almost been cut off in the past made him almost give up traditional bamboo strips. Even his grandson, who enjoys hip-hop singing and dancing, disdains learning. Unexpectedly, there are still young people who can weave bamboo strips now. The small bamboo basket in the picture carries the inheritance of Chinese culture. The old bamboo craftsman's eyes were moist, and his lower lip trembled slightly. Someone once mocked him as a lonely and eccentric old stubborn person. Even though bamboo strips have been eliminated by history, he is not willing to give up the old bamboo mill workshop. But the appearance of this live streaming room, along with the full screen of gifts, made him suddenly realize that his decades of persistence had results. The intangible cultural heritage of bamboo strips has not been abandoned by the wheels of the times. The old bamboo craftsman smiled with tears in his eyes and solemnly handed his grandson a straight bill. Wui Qingshan Bamboo Weaving Qin Yunhua Gifts. Call *1 for you. To make a large call for you, we need 999 live streaming coins, which is 99 yuan. This was Tang Su's first time receiving such a large gift, which left her stunned. What surprised her even more was that the account that gave the gift was actually a Big V account certified by the official live broadcast room. Representative of Intangible Cultural Heritage, Wui Qingshan Bamboo Weaving Qin Yunhua. Mr. Chen is a national-level guardian of intangible cultural heritage, with a high status. This is not just an ordinary gift, but clearly a recognition and appreciation from representatives of intangible cultural heritage culture. The entire live broadcast room is fried. I'll go. The big shot is here. Big shot appears. I have watched Mr. Chen's interview on TV. Mr. Chen is unparalleled in his country. The goosebumps are starting to rise. Miss Liv, you can definitely become popular. Fire Tongs Lu Ming. Leave your name before the fire. I will become a veteran fan from now on. Tang Su's heart was pounding wildly and he was very excited. She was originally just sharing her daily life, but she didn't expect to be recognized by such a heavyweight figure. She was very excited and bowed politely to the camera, smiling lightly. Thank you all for your liking. I will work harder to live stream the daily life of the Chinese-style countryside. Seriously share the scenery of Bashu in my hometown. Her calm and dignified attitude, along with her sweet yet polite demeanor, once again captured the favor of her fans. More passers-by fans like, collect, and follow the one-click 3-link stay. The popularity of live streaming rooms continues to soar. The little one crouched in the iron pot, slightly protruding its furry head, and Dowda blinked with a guilty expression. The giant panda, who was enjoying stealing cucumbers, stubbornly picked up the cucumber tip and moved its round body, trying to sneak away while Tang Su was not paying attention. The chubby palm cushion carefully poked out, and little JIO trembled to find the ground. But the giant panda Mengbao underestimated the weight of its body and overestimated the strength of the little short JIO. With one step, the entire iron pot tilted down. Duong. There was a loud commotion. It was an iron pot overturning. The national treasure, who was frightened to the point of being flustered, shook his wits and covered his eyes with his small paws, lying in a ball. Ow, I can't see the Luan family. I can't see them as long as the Luan family doesn't move, just a piece of stone. The iron pot stood up and turned twice, and the click just covered the little one. Chapter 3. Furious Beast, National Treasure Protector, Super Double Label. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The camera flashed by. The fast-paced visuals make fans a bit uncertain. I think I saw a wild beast. I'm not sure, we need to take another look. Tang Su was also stunned when he saw the unexpected guest passing by in the selfie footage. The last place where the unwelcome guest appeared seems to be an iron pot in the stove. She walked cautiously to the iron pot under the cover, her heart beating rapidly. The Bashu hometown village is adjacent to the Wulong Nature Reserve, and there are often wild animals nearby. Is it a ferocious beast? The iron pot made a faint dong-dong sound, as if it was covered with a peerless ferocious beast. Tang Su approached cautiously step by step, and netizens nervously jumped high and raised their voices. The peerless ferocious beast is about to appear. The bamboo pole supported one corner of the iron pot, then it was suddenly lifted open. A peerless ferocious beast is opening its small mouth and quickly nibbling on the tip of a cucumber. The sweet cucumber juice flew freely, and the mouth was full of fragrant juice, so delicious that it refused to let go no matter how delicious it was. A pair of bean eyes lifted pitifully. The giant panda Mengbao was caught stealing cucumbers, but he couldn't bear to give up the fresh and tender cucumber tips. The little one raised his hair and let out a long, slender moan. Tang Su was taken aback, and his fans were also taken aback. A peerless ferocious beast. Is that all? What a small giant panda. The ferocious beast has been transformed into a national treasure. What kind of immortal is this, Bashu? How can we even encounter giant pandas in the courtyard? Don't move the camera. Don't hinder me from watching the giant pandas, pretty Hanfu girl, doing Chinese-style intangible cultural heritage while encountering giant pandas, in the immortal live broadcast room. At the same time, Tang Su heard the heart of the giant panda. Please, please, have another ball. Tang Su could hear the voices of animals from a young age. Initially, she thought it was limited to the cats and dogs she kept at home, but once she became familiar with them, she naturally understood each other's intentions. But she didn't expect to be able to understand the voice of a giant panda after crossing parallel. The thief stole my cucumber. Is one not enough? Eating and taking together. Tang Su raised her eyebrows, and the giant panda Mengbao immediately acted coquettishly and begged for mercy. Her short hand tightly hugged Tang Su's thigh. Panda Bao, who is about 5 months old, has reached the age of weaning and craving for delicious food. The national treasure stared at the round bean like this, pitifully hugging Tang Su's leg. Tang Su took a step, and the national treasure was dragged to follow. Step by step, one person, one giant panda dragged all the way to the entrance of the farmyard. Tang Su went to browse the news and learned about the meme that every person in Bashu has a giant panda, but he didn't expect it to happen to him. She knows better that giant panda cubs are protected animals and treasures of the Wulong Nature Reserve. When encountering wild panda cubs in the wild, they must not be touched or contaminated with human odors. But now her eyes slowly and complexly shifted downwards, facing a pair of innocent and pitiful bean eyes. Where did she touch the national treasure? Now it's the national treasure playing tricks and pestering her. Our beautiful little sister, the Luan family needs to put up stickers stick once, replace with a cucumber tip Tang Su. Yoha, my mouth is sweet, but my heart is still 800. Bear. Embracing and embracing. Eating and carrying. Cat. More and more people flooded into the live broadcast room, and Tang Su's heart became increasingly nervous. Next door is the wild release base of Wulong Nature Reserve, with the administrator of the conservation station on duty. If the station discovers a giant panda in her yard, even if it is relying on her, she cannot explain it clearly. The country sits at the bottom of the prison, wearing beasts and treasures. At that moment, she even had a plan to squat for a few years. The sound of people coming in at the entrance of the small courtyard. Tang Su knew that the person entering the hospital was his aunt. The original owner's relatives were not many. After his father retired from the military and passed away due to illness, the family lost their source of livelihood and owed debts. His mother had to go out to work and only returned to the village during the Chinese New Year. Grandma is old and has blurred vision, but she is very kind to the original owner. Entrust the original owner to the care of his aunt. The original protagonist had no parents by his side and was under someone else's supervision, so his temper was somewhat strange. Grandmother doted on her, and her strange temper became more arrogant. In addition, her aunt was a snobbish person, and the original owner's personality combined with stubbornness, arrogance, and snobbishness, resulting in a very bad reputation in the village. There is also a relationship that cannot be considered a relative, as the original owner had a fiancée whom he had never met before. This marriage was arranged with an old comrade in arms when my father was alive. Regarding her impression of this fiancée, she still heard it from her aunt and daughter, who were also cousins. My cousin is the only female college student in the village, beautiful and fair-skinned. She is the white moonlight goddess of many young people in the village. She went to university in the imperial city and met many handsome men who had seen the world before. But when the cousin talked about the original owner's fiancée, her beautiful eyes shone brightly, unable to conceal her admiration. Truly, all things lose their color, and all beings are reversed. Look, what female college students say is different and incomprehensible. The original owner didn't understand at the time, but Tang Su understood it after combining the original owner's memory. Handsome. The fiancée of the original owner is the white moonlight in Bai Yueguang's heart. And I heard that he was appreciated by the district mayor at a young age. At the beginning of the year, he was transferred to the Wulong Nature Reserve to hold an important position, and he is the 8th level management level. He is also an idol in the hearts of the villagers. But later on, the fiancée whom he had never met was seriously ill and transferred to another position. It was said that he was critically ill and was about to be dismissed. The proud son of heaven, who once caught the attention of thousands of people, has unlimited prospects. Suddenly, he falls seriously ill and is facing resignation, which is such a blow. What was even more devastating was that when the original owner heard that his fiancée was about to die, he made a fuss and rushed to the entrance of the Wulong Nature Reserve unit, shouting, "Get out of marriage," and using the most unpleasant words in the market to curse marriage fraud. This is a devastating blow to the dignity of any man. This kind of node falls into the well and causes the villagers to hate the original owner even more. The villagers have a white moonlight in their hearts, trampled by her. Not to mention disgust, the villagers have torn the hearts of their original owners. The passing dogs all cursed at the original owner with barks. Tang Su shivered with coldness when he thought of the original owner's household chores. Without money or education, parents are not around, and the reputation of the village is extremely poor. This parallel crossing starts hell-level difficulty. Fortunately, she has a beautiful mountain and river system, and as long as she exchanges live streaming popularity for points, she believes she can definitely turn the tables against the wind. Someone has entered at the entrance of the courtyard. Tang Su instinctively grabbed the back of the giant panda's neck, picked up the little one with the other hand, and ran towards the backyard. Someone's here, go back where you came from. If anyone finds out that she hides panda cubs, good thing, she really wants to report to the police station. The giant panda Mengbao finally ate the cucumber tip, smashing its tender little tongue and licking the corners of its mouth to savor the delicious taste. The little one is very confused, why was he suddenly lifted into the air? Short legs flustered and swayed wildly. The pitiful little one felt an uneasy sense of weightlessness, looked up and moaned lightly, struggling to get off the ground. Ow, so high, don't touch me. If we don't release the Luan family anymore, they will get angry. The giant panda gritted its teeth, as if about to get angry. Tang Su lowered his head and glared. Thief, do you really want to let it go? So, did I let it go? The little one looked down and saw the tall ground, short and swaying little JIO. I was originally afraid of being tall as a national treasure, but I became even more afraid of being tall. I tightly hugged Tang Su's arm with my backhand and trembled. Ow, don't let it go hero, no, my dear sister, the Luan family and you are the best in the world. Afraid of being a high national treasure, Daoda's eyes were momentarily hesitant, and he hooked his little paws in confusion, making Tang Su even tighter. There is still the sweet juice of cucumbers on the wet little paws, which cannot be denied as physical evidence. The live broadcast room was filled with laughter and joy. I really like national treasures when they get angry. That's so cute. The peerless ferocious beast killed me. I want to escape, but I can't escape. There's a kind of cuteness that disregards my life and death. It's also scary for a national treasure to get angry. Guess why a giant panda is called a bear? The fierce iron-eating beast of the future is still a cute little creature, so of course we need to work hard to expose it. Only I found out that the anchor girl is very strong. The giant panda looks like it's 5 months old, about 30 pounds, but the anchor girl actually picked it up with one hand. Big sister. Beautiful and spirited. A 5-month-old national treasure weighing around 30 pounds. Tang Su was holding a rolling ball in his hand, which was not light. But she picked it up with one hand and strode towards the backyard, running all the way effortlessly. A stunning Hanfu girl, without any affectation, still a strong warrior. This makes fans love it even more. Contrast cute. Tang Su only realized how heavy his arms were when he ran to the backyard. She was too nervous just now, and her blood pressure was so high that she didn't care and lifted the giant panda. Now she calmed down a bit and realized how heavy the 5-month-old giant panda weighed. So heavy Auntie had not yet entered the door, and her loud voice had already begun to ring. You child Guashi, the quilt doesn't bounce and you play with your phone every day. Your turtle's brain is getting wet and old, play with a hammer, go to work. Your phone has been confiscated. Tang Su secretly thought it was not good. The phone was the second one brought back by his mother during last year's Chinese New Year, and his aunt kept talking about it every day. It was obvious that he had a crush on this phone. Her heart sounded an alarm, and her phone could not be collected. This was the only tool she could live stream, and it was also left by the mother of the original owner. She shivered all over and became nervous. The giant panda in her arms stared at the round beans and realized her nervousness. The originally cute and coquettish giant panda suddenly grinned at the entrance of the courtyard behind her. Angry national treasure, very protective. Thief milk is fierce. Ha! Chapter 4. Pandas are too fierce, of course we need to put in a lot of effort. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The giant panda cub bares its teeth fiercely, while its grandmother's fierce appearance exudes a strong sense of security. As Auntie's hand was about to touch the phone on the bamboo chair, the Tuanzi had already moved his round body to the ground, slapped the phone with great care, and then spun around twice before sitting down slowly. "Ow, this toy belongs to the Luan family. You fierce woman, don't rob." The round giant panda Mengbao sat on her phone and proudly swayed her short JIO, even wanting to cross her legs. All we see on the internet are swallows descending from the sky and blocking the screen in pitch black. What kind of swallow? It's so strange, take a closer look. This smell seems to rush into my nose through the screen. Auntie's hand was about to grab her phone, and she froze in the air, facing a giant panda grinning in front of her. She doesn't even extend her hand, nor does she put it down. The atmosphere froze. Auntie trembled with fear, her eyes wide open. Hammer, oh. Giant pandas. The protection and sense of security of Sichuan were full of tension. Even the notorious fierce ant in the village took a small step back. National treasure level protected animals. She was so shocked that she couldn't understand, trembling as she pointed at Tang Su. Stolen. You stole pandas. You're finished, kid. Don't say it belongs to my family when you come back. Auntie casually took a basket of sweet potatoes from the stove and a basket of newly picked wutai vegetables, leaving without looking back, afraid of causing trouble. Before leaving, she shouted, "Send the pandas back and come over tomorrow to help with the cotton quilt." Tang Suchong breathed a sigh of relief. Auntie's influence, who loves to take advantage of small gains, is also someone who fights and pulls the original owner to grow up. She has read the memories of the original owner, and except for her aunt who has a bad mouth and a hot temper, she has not done anything very outrageous to the original owner. Even the old bachelor in the village had to manually kick the young Yuan, but his aunt shouted loudly, swung the stick, and scared the old bachelor away. At this point, she doesn't dislike her aunt, but she has to be wary of her aunt taking things that belong to her. Auntie was about to leave the hospital when she turned around and shouted again. Don't withdraw from your marriage. Marrying that sickly person is your fate. Like your mother, you are a widow. You deserve to be a widow. You should accept your fate. If you ask the inexplicable Hall to embarrass you again, I'll give you a earwax. Talking about her fiancé, Tang Su's emotions also rose. What does it mean to be a widow? Still accepting fate. Curse my mom. This stinky mouth deserves to be beaten. The fiancé of the original owner, Jiao, is a proud son of heaven and a prominent figure in the protected area, with a bright future ahead. At a time when her fiancé was in great glory, her aunt advised her to withdraw, saying, "We are not worthy." It was only because her cousin Tang Wan fell in love with Jiao at first sight that she wanted to plan a good marriage for her own daughter. Now, Jiao fell seriously ill all night and was about to be dismissed from her job. It was rumored in the protected area that he was about to die, but her aunt advised her not to divorce. Being a widow was her fate. Tang Su sneered inwardly, just to cut off his cousin Tang Wan's thoughts. Can a good marriage still turn to her? Tang Su's image as a Hanfu anchor has been tarnished due to the live broadcast footage, which prevented him from publicly venting his anger. She pointed at her aunt and shouted. Tuanzi, bite her. The giant panda was trying hard to learn to cross its legs and doze off, and upon hearing this, it immediately stopped feeling sleepy. The round and rolling giant panda, with its imposing and ferocious teeth, its small baby teeth are stretched to the brink of cracking, and it is extremely fierce. The little one was a fierce warrior, taking 3 steps in 2, like a ball of ammunition taking off and knocking down his aunt. Ah! Auntie screamed in agony, flipping over 2 baskets of sweet potatoes and black cabbage on the ground, her face turning pale. Pandas bite people. Mom sells batches, pandas bite people. A 5-month-old panda weighs 30 pounds and is approximately 65 centimeters tall. The little guy can jump up to his thigh when standing upright. Combined with the explosive momentum, it truly exudes the domineering power of the Bashu national treasure. Ow! The ferocious giant panda stood up, opened its mouth wide, and roared angrily. Auntie's face turned pale, her hair was disheveled and scattered, and she fell all over her body, bruised and purple. She was so scared that her soul could take off. She didn't care about the sweet potatoes and black vegetables that came along, didn't even pick up the basket, and hurriedly ran away. Help, where is the national treasure? It's clearly a ferocious beast. A villager passing by in the distance saw her disheveled appearance, and burst into laughter, teasing her to steal men from the haystack. Her aunt had even lost her face. Tang Su straightened his phone and found the barrage area lively. I love Tuanzi so much. The protection of the big Tuanzi is full of security. The soft and cute national treasure has been changed back to an unparalleled ferocious beast, who knows? When it comes to external thieves, I only act as a coward to the little sister and listen to the killing power of the young lady's words. Tuanzi. Only for young ladies whimpering, I really want to steal the giant panda. I've prepared all the burlap bags, and I'll take the one from Tuanzi. I am the administrator of an animal protection organization. Wild pandas are too fierce and have great distrust and hostility towards people. They must not appear at home, so the anchor runs quickly. This danger is for me to bear, please bring the giant pandas to my house. Upstairs, your abacus beads are bouncing on my face, who doesn't like the cute and secure giant panda? Tang Su looked at the giant panda Mengbao seriously and found that Taoyuan was still angry. The little one was still angry, shaking his head and cursing. The peerless beast is angry and needs gentle comfort. Tang Su lifted his white hand and stroked the wide sleeves of his hanfu, gently rubbing the furry head of the little one. Scratch and scratch. Rua her mouth curved, and it turned out that when the giant panda's head was rubbed, it felt like this. The furry head was shiny, and the thick, chubby face was also bouncing. Excellent hand feel. What if a panda is too fierce? Of course, we need to work hard on Rua. Do you like it? Give it a massage. My guest seems very satisfied too. The sticky giant panda squinted its eyes comfortably, lifted its round and fluffy head, and enjoyed the stunning Hanfu girl's head massage, occasionally making a snoring sound. Tang Surua's head twitched, and the giant panda really let out a light roar. Ow! Don't stop! Tang Su gave it another Rua, and the giant panda looked up more satisfied, lifting its head higher and trying harder to be caught. Ow! Just here, it's so crispy, don't stop. Tang Su found that it's great to masturbate pandas. This guest is more satisfied, as if being masturbated is more enjoyable. The giant panda, which was so comfortable that it couldn't stop, made its eyes turn red all over the internet. They couldn't distinguish whether they were more envious of giant pandas or more envious of Hanfu anchor girls. Damn it, if I could get a kiss from the beautiful anchor lady, even if she forced me to hold the giant panda and make a strong Rua, I would still be willing. How come you eat and take them together? I can bring you the whole banquet. I'm really envious. But Tuanzi won't be leaving soon, will he? I should be leaving now. This is a wild dumpling, raised so well, there must be a mother panda. I can't bear to part with it. I can't bear to part with it either. I really want to see Tuanzi every day. In just over a decade, the giant panda who made a cameo appearance has become the darling of the live broadcast group. Tang Su couldn't let go of the little one either, but she knew it was time to part ways. Like vegetables. The cucumbers are gone, I'll give you a small piece of carrot as a gift. Hurry up, I'm also going up the mountain to pick fruits. She carried a newly woven bamboo basket on her back, took out a fresh and tender carrot from the newly picked basket, and handed it to the giant panda. Goodbye, little one. You are very cute, thank you for your company, but you should go home now. The giant panda's ears drooped, its furry body formed a ball, and Daoda's eyes blinked in frustration. The little one's mood visibly lowered. Chapter 5. Being tracked by giant pandas. Shake your head and head, national treasure has been sour. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Go back, little one. Next door is the wild release base in Wulong Nature Reserve. Your mother is waiting for you to come home. Tang Su was determined and drove the giant panda pack outside the small courtyard, then carried a small bamboo basket on his back and closed the courtyard's firewood door. She thought to herself that if the small courtyard door closes and the wild panda cubs cannot enter, they will leave on their own. The small courtyard is surrounded by mountains and rivers, and the small path outside the courtyard leads to bamboo forests. The winding and secluded secret realm of Bashu, with the bamboo sea rolling like green waves in the wind, boasts charming natural scenery. She carried a bamboo basket on her back and walked ruthlessly towards the gravel path, feeling reluctant to part ways. Who can refuse a ball full of your national treasures? Still a cute and silly panda cub. This is the first time she has seen a wild giant panda up close, perhaps also the last time. She walked about 10 meters away and looked back. The black and white dumpling was still pitifully squatting by the wooden door, with its head tilted and its eyes filled with confusion. The little one fumbled and hooked little JIO, as if quietly waiting for her to come back. The aggrieved bean eyes seem like the whole bear is about to shatter, causing heartache. The hearts of the fans in the live broadcast room were fiercely pulled up. They held their breath and stared straight at the screen, their emotions very complicated. They both hoped for the anchor girl to turn around and hug the giant panda, but dared not watch the anchor girl turn around. Everyone knows that wild animals have their own set of life rules, and any artificial intervention can lead to misfortune. Only the management and protection stations in Wulong Nature Reserve can have wild release intervention measures. Tang Su continued to walk, really not looking back again. The Tuanzi still crouched obediently at the entrance of the courtyard. The feeling of heartache among fans followed, and there was still a hint of luck. Perhaps we can see the giant panda Tuanzi again. Perhaps there will be a chance to see you again. Tang Su changed into the front jacket and hanfu of the system gift package and continued to live stream daily life in his hometown. She was wearing a warm jacket on the inner layer, wrapped in a bright horse-faced skirt with a double-breasted jacket. The cuffs were embroidered with 100 butterfly-carrying flowers, and the light green double-breasted jacket was full of greenery. The woven gold horse-face skirt is simple and elegant, as she walks along the bamboo sea path, as if crossing a layer of light bamboo sea emerald light, flowing and agile as she walks. She walked out of the bamboo forest and all the way up the mountain. She looked at the evergreen shrubs by the mountain road and smiled sweetly. Good luck, red seed has come to an end. She carefully kneaded a string of red fruits. Deep red small fruit, cute and delicate, is a mature wild fruit in winter, somewhat like a small apple. One by one, the red flesh hung on the branches of shrubs, extremely prominent in the mountains and forests. The round and smooth red color was like strings of wind chimes, making people want to pick them and stuff them into their mouths. Tang Su picked a small string and smiled lightly at the camera. In my hometown, this is called red seed. It's a bit sandy and astringent, but it tastes light. A beautiful little sister, even eating wild fruits is pleasing to the eye. She opened her mouth slightly to catch the red seed fruit, which was a bright red fruit that set off Tan Ko's small mouth, causing fans to swallow their throats. Gudong. Sweet. It's too sweet. Sweet is not red seed fruit, it's hanfu little sister. Many netizens have rarely returned to their rural hometowns since they started working. In addition to the quiet and peaceful countryside, they were also worried about the simple uncles and aunties, as well as the wild fruits they had eaten in the mountains as children. They looked at the Bashu countryside live broadcast room, recalling the taste of childhood. It seems like the joy brought by the group of kids cutting grass and searching for these wild fruits all over the mountain when they were young. Tang Su cut off a few strings of red seed fruits and put them in a small bamboo basket behind him. Do you like it? If you like it, put it in the small backpack. She walked up the mountain all the way to see if there were any mushrooms or wild game that could be harvested. If she was lucky, she could also share a traditional delicacy in the evening. Climbing up the mountain is boring. Tang Su, in order to increase the popularity of the live broadcast room and create a lively atmosphere, chatted casually while climbing up the mountain. There are many good things in the mountains. At the beginning of the 4th lunar month, you can go up the mountain to pick raspberries, also known as April Pao. The fruit is sweet and the juice is sweet. If you're lucky this season, you can still see nabangzi with a sweet and sour taste. This plant is called Cornus officinalis, also known as cornus flesh or jujube skin. Its slender red color resembles that of goji berries. Tang Su introduced wild fruits along the mountain road, and fans listened with great interest. More than 10 meters away from her, there was also a little guy who was mesmerized by it. A rustling sound. Within a distance range that Tang Su was unaware of, the giant panda Tuanzi caught up. The round and rolling big ball couldn't wait for Tang Su, so she quietly touched the scent of her footsteps and slowly moved up the mountain. Ow humph, little sister must be stealing good food. Tang Su didn't know she was being tracked. She pointed to the wild fruit science popularization seriously. September yellow, thatch berries, wild persimmons, and black tigers can all be eaten, while Cornus officinalis is quite unique. Cornus officinalis is still a medicinal herb. The medicinal value is very extensive, so it is known as a single flavor of Cornus officinalis surpasses ginseng and Angelica sinensis. She casually cut a small clump of dogwood and put it in a small basket behind her. After she continued to walk away, the Tuanzi stood at the position of the dogwood, curiously staring at the round bean eyes and smashing the fallen dogwood twice on the ground. Suction slip, the little sister is indeed eating good food behind her back. Fruit, it must be very good. Giant panda Tuanzi sat on the ground, holding up the branches of cornus in her short hand. She picked them and stuffed them into her mouth, eager to enjoy the delicious taste of her mouth. Suddenly, Xiong Xiong shook his head and brain in place, and his national treasure was sour. Pain mask ing, the little one looked at Tang Su's back, and Dodo's eyes were filled with humanized sympathy. Is it so difficult, little sister? Do you want such an unpleasant fruit? Is the little sister starving to death? A clever giant panda can draw analogies, and the little one feels a little guilty at the thought of stealing Tang Su's cucumber. That cucumber, is it Tang Su's only food? If the cucumber is gone, Tang Su will starve to death. The Tuanzi was startled by the thought and rubbed his small hands with a guilty heart, making Duduyan even more guilty. Tang Su, who was walking ahead, finished the latter half of the sentence. Cornus officinalis has a good medicinal effect, but wild fruits are very sour. Don't try it easily. The Tuanzi opened his mouth in a daze, and the fruit in his mouth fell off with a loud bang. The jujube tree is tall and its roots are covered in snow. Unconsciously, Tang Su had already reached halfway up the mountain. Her farmyard is a homestead left for her by her parents, located in a desolate Liangshan depression, adjacent to the wild land of Wulong Nature Reserve. Wild animals often roam around, so no one goes there on weekdays, and the original owner rarely goes there. After crossing parallel, she needed a solitary space before gradually tidying up the small courtyard. Halfway up the mountain, there is the busiest place in Cheomlai village, where my grandmother and aunt also live. When there is farm work to tidy up at home, she will go up the mountain to help with it. Only during winter and summer holidays, as well as long holidays, will her cousin Tang Wan come back and occasionally have a face-to-face meeting with her. It's very cold on the mountain, and the distant peaks are covered in rime, which looks really beautiful. Iron poles freeze into ice. Tang Su, feeling a chill, picked up the fallen jujube with surprise, her beautiful eyes shining brightly. It's a jujube, also known as chicken claw pear. Don't look unattractive, but the taste is the sweetest. There are always anxious children in the village who can't wait for the frosting, so they rush to pick the sweetness on their tongues. She tasted it and found that although the ripe jujube did not grow very well, its taste was indeed fragrant and sweet. After taking a sip, the juice turns sweet, and the delicious tongue is filled with a sweet fruity aroma, with a lingering aftertaste. The intoxicating winter limited edition gift makes fans eager to taste it. Ah, hurry up and show off in my mouth. You see, I'm actually hungry too. Why do I listen to Hanfu Little Sister's science popularization of wild fruits and feel so cured? It's so relaxing, my whole body is following suit and relaxing. Working 996, I really want to take a leave and travel to Bashu. Where is the Bashu live broadcast room? It's clearly delicious on the tip of the tongue. Only the giant panda tracking not far away had a more complex expression when looking at Tang Su, and Dodo's eyes were full of pity. The little one followed all the way and stepped on the ugly, chicken claw pear, on the ground with difficulty, causing little JIO to pick it up in disgust. Twisted, with an unattractive shape that resembles a broken chicken foot. Still deformed, with broken chicken feet. Monsters. Giant Panda Tuanzi stretched his neck and retched, his eyes rolling out, feeling even more guilty in his heart. Ow miss, even putting monsters in her mouth must be starving to death. Chapter 6. The national treasure innocently licks on the ice skating ice, his tongue sticks tightly. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The giant panda, with a lot of inner play, slowly moves its round buttocks and follows Tang Su up the mountain. Tang Su passed by 2 ancient pine trees and went to the mountain temple to worship. The mountain god temple was built according to the terrain, with 3 main halls. Brick-carved spine flowers, with kissing beasts, and painted interior walls with mural patterns. The momentum is majestic and magnificent. Netizens are curious. Anchor Sister, which mountain god is worshipped locally in Bashu? Is it the earth god? Tang Su bowed respectfully and smiled lightly. Cheomlai village is located on Mount Siguniang and belongs to the Cheomlai Mountains. Our village worships the Cheomlai mountain god. The flourishing incense in Xiangtai shows the great influence and prestige of the mountain god in the local area. After Tang Su left, the Tuanzi curiously moved into the mountain temple and learned to kneel by moving his round body with the scent of Tang Su's putuan. Pandas are fragrant. The little one is studying very seriously, cute and funny. Along the way, the Tuanzi followed Tang Su's introduction and tasted the purple earth mulberry, his entire tongue turning purple. The wet corners of his mouth were purple and white, funny and comical. Anchor Sister, it seems like you have been tracked by a wild beast, with a tuft of purple hair in the background of the camera. Tang Su also faintly saw a flash of purple hair in a corner of the selfie live broadcast camera. It is clear that she was being tracked by a wild beast. She felt a chill in her heart, her forehead twitching nervously, and her heart beating faster. My hometown is adjacent to a nature reserve in the mountains, where wild animals occasionally appear. What beast's fur is purple? The closer Zimao tracked, the more nervous Tang Su became in his heart. But she dare not expose her panic. The more panicked it is, the more it can stimulate the predators hunting nature. She gritted her head and walked quickly, picking up a large stone as a defense along the way. It's getting closer. The sound is getting closer. A rustling sound. At the edge of the jujube tree in the rhyme, Tang Su suddenly lifted a large stone, turned his head and glared angrily, taking a breath to gather momentum and ready to go. Her hair rises in the wind, and her Hanfu horse face skirt is gentle and atmospheric. Her instinctive defensive movements are powerful and powerful, like a hunting goddess in the mountains, full of contrast. The giant panda was so frightened that it sat down on the ground, innocently with round eyes. Bu Suluan's family. The Luan family didn't track you in the picture. There is a large ball of ground crab that steals, with a purple tongue and silly mouth fur dyed purple. A bewildered expression, as if tracking someone who was suddenly caught on the spot. Stupid and cute. Deep fry in the barrage area. The Tuanzi. What beast? It's clearly Tuanzi who's back. I'm so happy. I thought I would never see Tuanzi again, but Tuanzi quietly followed over. The building staged me. It scared me, I really thought it was a beast. Tang Suchong breathed a sigh of relief. She heard the voice of the giant panda, both angry and amused. You didn't intentionally follow me. It's clearly tracking. Even if I give you a camera, you can turn into a paparazzi. Not very smart yet. Tang Su leaned over to look at the giant panda, and the Tuanzi nervously turned his head to the left. Tang Su leaned left to look at the giant panda, and the Tuanzi nervously turned his head to the right. She took a step forward, her whole body blocking in front of the giant panda, looking down carefully from a high position. The Tuanzi looked up and Daoda's eyes widened in fear. What a big face. The guilty Tuanzi covered his black circles with his short claws, buried his head in a ball, and begged for mercy on the ground. Ow, wrong, wrong, the cute and pitiful giant panda, who is coquettish and begging for mercy. What the little one doesn't know is that its psychological activity can be heard by Tang Su. Tang Sugang stood up satisfied when he suddenly heard the voice of Tuanzi. Research system, the Luan family will definitely not be discovered by you next time they follow. Tang Su raised his eyebrows. Yoho. The national treasure is quite rebellious. Knowing your mistakes and not changing them, how dare you do it again next time? She quickly opened her phone and called the contact person at the protected area management station. Why, is it a protected area? There's a national treasure tracking me, take it away quickly. The phone number of the protected area management station is the unit landline, and there will be patrol officers on duty to answer it. The landline will display the dialed phone number. A station usually has 2 on-duty patrol officers. There was a pause across the phone, followed by a moment of silence. A deep voice that is calm and courteous. Got it. Tang Su was slightly stunned. The voice on the other side sounded magnetic and hoarse, although it was a polite and distant tone, it was inexplicable and seductive. The voice has a particularly elegant sense of fatigue, as if seeing through everything and feeling tired of everything. More brilliant than the bright moon, more stunning than the blooming flowers. She has a stagnation in her breathing. She asked herself, it's not voice control, but I have to say that the voice across the phone is very pleasant. She reported the address, hung up the phone, but didn't take it too seriously. The sky began to fall. The protected area management station has received a message that someone will be coming soon. Tuanzi, I really like you, but you really should go home now. The giant panda hooked its paws in confusion and turned its head to see the frozen electric pole. Perhaps the little one wanted to ease the awkwardness, or perhaps he wanted to divert Tang Su's attention. De Tuanzi was dumbfounded and tilted his head, innocently licking the ice skate on his face. Suddenly, the Tuanzi noticed that his tongue was tightly stuck. The tongue that wanted to lick couldn't retract, so anxious that tears streamed out. Who is it? Who is playing tricks on this baby? Tang Su's scalp exploded with shock. Deep fry in the barrage area. Sleeping slot. Sleeping slot. Sleeping trough. The national treasure is licking the ice. Good guy, this is called bitter meat trick. Can't we leave a layer of tongue skin behind? I'm holding back. I already have a visual sense, as if my tongue skin is left on a frozen utility pole. Urban gene gradually layered. Save your life. The national treasure of the South, the small potatoes, are all so fierce. Task challenge ahead. Rescue national treasures with health hazards. The progress bar indicates the severity of health hazards. When the progress bar is reduced to 0%, the task target is very healthy and will receive a large number of skill and item rewards. Tang Su heard a prompt sound in her mind, and she quickly looked at the giant panda's head. Above the furry head, there is a red progress bar that looks like a time challenge. She carefully looked at the red progress bar, which showed 31%. It should be that the health hazards of giant pandas have reached 31%. As long as the hazards can be solved, she can receive a large amount of rewards. She is looking forward to it and eager to give it a try. Host attention, when the severity of the hidden danger reaches 100%, the Jinxiu Shanhe system will reset the points to 0 and no longer receive corresponding points, another reminder, like pouring down a basin of ice water. Tang Su's heart skipped a beat upon hearing it. No longer receive corresponding points. Does it mean that the system will be invalidated? Absolutely not. External cheats cannot be omitted. She is still waiting for the system to take flight. She has 100 times more confidence and cannot lose in the task challenge. Little one, I just licked the ice skate and saved it for you. The silly giant panda, with its tongue stuck on ice and tears streaming down its face. Tongue sticking out, begging for mercy turning into whimpering. Wheezing national treasure leveled silly and silly, quickly became popular in the live broadcast room because of licking ice skates. The influx of passers-by fans has driven up the popularity of the live broadcast room. Chapter 7 Preserved Pork Bamboo Tube Food, Fresh Bamboo Liquor. National Treasure. Ah, I'm dead. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The giant panda struggled to tilt its head back, but its tongue licked on the ice skate without moving at all, causing the little one to burst into tears in pain. Tang Su quickly breathed into the electric pole, using the heat generated to melt the ice on his tongue. But the effect was not significant, and the giant panda's expression became even more worried. The red progress bar displays 32%. Tang Su glanced at the progress bar above and was taken aback. Added 1 grid. Ice skating is the health hazard of giant pandas. She quickly took off her gloves and covered her tongue with warm hands. The little one has a pink and tender tongue, warm, with fine spikes, and a slightly wonderful touch. Anchor sister, please cover up the heat quickly. Although, it's still the first time I've seen a national treasure hanging on a utility pole, like a licking ice skate. Can you laugh? It's both tragic and funny. Ha, I'll laugh first as a gesture of respect. Tuanzi. As long as you're happy, don't worry about my life or death. The ball hanging on the ice skate is so cute. I really want to become the anchor's little sister's hand and touch the national treasure's tongue. National treasures are rare, and fewer people can get close to them. People who can get up close and touch the national treasure's pink tongue can count the whole world with one hand. Unfortunately, Tang Su is one of them. Tang Su breathed and rubbed his hands to cover his hot little tongue, sweating profusely from anxiety. She glanced at the progress bar above Tuanzi's head, and her heart sank with a thud. Red progress bar. Displays 34%. Okay, why did you suddenly add 2 squares? A single ice skate increases health risks too quickly. The Tuanzi awkwardly blinked Dauda's eyes, her round and furry belly making a gurgling sound. I'm hungry. The little one lowered his head in embarrassment, wanting to rub his stomach with his short hands, but forgot that his tongue was still hanging on the ice skate, causing more tears to flow in pain. A foolish national treasure, adding insult to injury to the already painful tongue. It's really pitiful and funny. Tang Su opened the small bamboo basket and searched for it. What items can be heated? She touched her back and her eyes lit up. It is a thermos cup gifted as a gift package for beginners in the system. In the cold winter, when she went up the mountain, she specially boiled a cup of hot water and put it into a thermos. The high-quality purple sand inner liner thermos was still warm after a few hours. She quickly unscrewed the thermos, tasted the heat, exhaled, and carefully poured the little tongue of the dough. A beautiful Hanfu girl, earnestly and attentively pouring warm water, gently soothing. Be good, don't move around. I'll be fine soon, hold on a little longer. In the live broadcast footage, a gentle little girl in a horse-faced skirt and Hanfu, softly coaxing giant pandas in the winter pastoral mountain scenery, as if coaxing kindergarten children. The sunset shone through the gaps in the pine leaves, illuminating the entire forest. The afterglow shimmered with golden red light, spreading a dreamy golden veil over Tang Su and the giant panda, illuminating her focused gaze. The romantic countryside scenery is as beautiful as a painting. Fans couldn't bear to blink as they watched. So beautiful, beautiful, like a fairy tale. The rustling of bamboo leaves and the natural scenery have attracted a large number of fans to stop. A fan casually took a screenshot of Tang Su and the giant panda and made it into a wallpaper, sharing it on the Zhihuhu forum. The warm water slowly poured down, and the giant panda stared blankly at Tang Su, who was close by, while its shiny bean eyes froze. "Ow, little sister, take a good look at it. A serious little sister is the most charming." Until his little tongue could retract, the little one stared blankly at Tang Su. Red progress bar. Displays 25%. Saving to Tuanzi's tongue, the progress bar immediately retracted a large section, and Tang Su felt a great sense of achievement in his heart. The progress bar increases by 1 grid and 2 grids. Shrink back and directly shrink by 11 squares. It's not that difficult to rescue the little one. She smiled and tapped the giant panda's head lightly. "Alright, we can move now. Little silly bear, don't lick the iron pole next time you're hungry. Follow me back to eat something. Fill your stomach and don't worry about anything. Tuanzi is tough and mischievous, but easy to coax. As long as you feed the little one, the progress bar will definitely reach 0%. The patrol line of the Wulong Nature Reserve Management Station is very long, including 2 peaks. The address she reported is a farmhouse. She estimated that it would take some time for the maintenance station staff to pick up the giant panda. A while ago, there was rain, and new winter shoots sprouted up, making them tender and tender. She took advantage of the time and planned to break some unexcavated bamboo shoots to entertain the giant panda Mengbao. It can also be considered as a hospitable hospitality from my hometown. The scenery along the way down the mountain is beautiful, with the rustling of a vast bamboo sea. The beautiful Hanfu girl and giant panda walk side by side on the path, and the scenery of Bashu is as beautiful as a fairy tale. Netizens were mesmerized by it. This is not the Bashu countryside live broadcast room, it is the peach blossom spring that they yearn for. Tang Su returned to the farmyard and casually pulled up a neat bun, smoothed the narrow sleeves of her Hanfu, and placed the tender new bamboo shoots in front of Tuanzi. She began to work. She will cut off the bamboo, remove the branches, and split it into small sections that intersect, splitting it in half. The bamboo pieces are placed upside down on a fire rack and roasted over low heat. The light yellow juice continuously flows out and is collected in a wooden bucket. This is the wisdom of our ancestors, the ancient method of fresh bamboo juice. The fans in the live broadcast room stared in surprise. Is this fresh bamboo juice? When I was wearing a mask, I heard that fresh bamboo juice seems to be a traditional Chinese medicine that can treat coughs. Surprisingly, it is made like this. It's amazing. It's the first time I've seen bamboo baking water. How fragrant is this? I can smell the fragrance of bamboo through the screen. The charcoal fire was warm, and Tang Su warmed his hands while receiving fresh bamboo juice. She smiled lightly at the camera. My hometown is nestled by mountains and rivers, and my daily necessities focus on saving money and being practical. Relying on mountains to eat mountains, relying on water to eat water, all are the crystallization of our ancestors' wisdom. She was dressed in hanfu, with a sweet smile and a quick and effortless work. She roasted green bamboo over charcoal fire using ancient methods to make rare traditional natural drinks. Just like the ancient miss, slowly crossing the long river of history, carrying the ancient national style and passing it down to the world. The fans had a chaotic heartbeat, their hearts beating wildly. An antique countryside live broadcast that is both down-to-earth and practical. Too much love. Tang Su waited for the progress bar of Tuanzi to come down, but she turned her head and couldn't help but laugh or cry. The Tuanzi was holding the crispy and tender young bamboo shoots and sniffing them carefully. Then, he stared at the fresh bamboo juice on her side and opened his mouth in a daze, his mouth dripping uncontrollably. Oh. Ah, I'm dead. Only the little sister can get up by kissing and hugging. The playboy lay down on the ground, really pretending to be dead. Tang Su looked at the playwright Giant Panda with a curved mouth. Little sample, playing tricks with teacher Tang. Where is it to hug with a kiss, afraid it's just a craving for fresh bamboo. Teacher Tang is a preschool teacher. I have seen a heart that cannot compare to your national treasure. Tang Su ignored the big dumpling whose belly was growling and pretending to be dead, took down a piece of bacon, split shinchu, and began to bake delicious bamboo tube food with bacon. Chapter 8. The Zoo Shocked. Are the talents of Sichuan people who raise pandas engraved in their genes? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soak the shinchu bamboo tube in water, brush a layer of oil on the film, add mountain orchids, rice, and water, stir well, slice a thin layer of cured meat, and then seal the mouth of the bamboo tube tightly with banana leaves. The small charcoal fire in winter is roasting the bamboo tube, flipping it over to evenly heat the bamboo until the green bamboo burns in the charcoal fire. The fragrant bamboo tube cured meat rice, that's it. Tang Su split open the bamboo tube, and the rice was wrapped in bamboo film, instantly emitting a fragrant aroma. The steaming bamboo tube food with bacon has the faint fragrance of bamboo and mellow rice. It tastes delicious with bacon. If you chew it, you can swallow it with your tongue. Tang Su picked up his chopsticks and ate bamboo tube food with bacon without any affectation. Bamboo tube food with Bashu characteristics is delicious. The netizens stared wide-eyed. Wow, hurry up and show it off in my mouth. It's so appetizing to have a broadcast late at night. The anchor's little sister has a giant panda to accompany her, and she can also eat bamboo tube food. It's a good day. During the day, it's either my arms or my legs. At night, it's either food or ghosts. I've finally developed this character. Kinv online. You can even cook bamboo tube food, anchor. The Hanfu girl sat by the charcoal fire, her nose slightly sweating, her skin white and rosy, looking delicate. But she ate meat in large bites, didn't put on airs, and even added a big spoonful of bright red chili. The strong contrast has made fans love it even more. A beautiful anchor with water spirit and a fierce sister in her heart. The giant panda sniffed the fragrance of the air and couldn't help but roll up from the ground, glaring at the beans. Ow, it smells so good. Where is the delicious food? A group of actors who play tricks can't hold their breath when they smell delicious food. The little guy stared at the bacon bamboo tube food in Tang Su's hand, and the saliva could flow down his mouth. That pitiful and innocent Taoyuan seems to be groaning. Ball, you know, Benbao left his mother since he was young. Poor national treasure, with round and innocent eyes, rubbing little JIO in confusion. What bad thoughts do national treasures have? But I just want to eat bacon bamboo tube food. You received a gift of pounding your shoulder *11, leave a message. Quick. Give it. Reward heat +11, let's talk about the gift you got *5, leave a message. It's not bamboo tube food. Reward popularity +20, you received a gift of love launch *1, leave a message. Don't be wronged, treasure. You can afford it. Reward heat plus 50, the barrage area was filled with gifts, making Tang Su dizzy. She hasn't said anything yet, but fans are already anxious. But Tang Su did not compromise. After weaning, giant pandas can eat a small amount of fruits and vegetables in addition to tender bamboo shoots. Bamboo tube food also has bacon, salt, seasoning and chili. It will hurt your health and can't be given to you. The anchor has a temper, and Tuanzi has been wronged. But no matter how the giant panda stared with pitiful eyes, Tang Su didn't let go. Foolish treasure, eating recklessly has raised the progress bar for health hazards. Eat tender bamboo shoots obediently. The national treasure has a heart and eyes, and the anchor girl has a good temper. One person and one bear squatted in the snowy courtyard, their big and small eyes wide open, and no one was convinced. A panda dad with a fan at the ETD Wildlife Park. The panda breeding at the Imperial Wildlife Park is very professional. Professor Ma, the father of pandas, has been in the industry for 32 years and has raised nearly 20 giant pandas. He appeared on the cover of Animal magazine and his quote was widely praised. Animals are all very simple. If you treat them well, they will also repay us with love. Professor Ma was brought into the live broadcast room by ET and saw an angry panda cub at first glance. He smiled at his assistant and said, "This panda looks stubborn. Having a broad mind and a good temper." The assistant greatly admires it. "I am truly Professor Ma. You can understand pandas at a glance. This panda in the Wulong Nature Reserve is indeed hot-tempered and has many scenes. It is the famous Wulong Building 3 with code 1003. Oh. It's actually number 1003. The Wulong Nature Reserve has wild release bases, breeding centers, and conservation research centers. The most famous panda cub among them is the rebellious 1003, who sneaks over a wall and occasionally kidnaps and runs away with his raised siblings while his foster mother panda is not paying attention. With so many eyes and a big temper, the keepers are helpless and can only rely on their foster mother pandas to take care of their offspring near the wild release base." Professor Ma was momentarily taken aback, looked closely, and was delighted. "It's really little guy number 1003. Sneaking out. Now the Wulong Nature Reserve base is busy again. He posted a barrage. The Panda Center of the Imperial Wildlife Park. This panda is difficult to manage and refuses to be taken care of. Even if we have been raising giant pandas for over 30 years, there may not be a solution." He rose to the truth. As soon as the shiny official certification Big V appeared, everyone in the barrage area opened their mouths. I went, but surprisingly, another Big V came. Or is it the official certification Gold V? The Imperial Wildlife Park. The live streamer has a big side effect. Everyone feels that even the largest panda center in the imperial capital cannot govern Tuanzi. The anchor girl must be submissive. At this time, Tang Su dug the last mouthful of bamboo tube food with bacon and showed the clean bottom of the bamboo tube. "It's gone." The Tuanzi stared at the soybeans, and his pitiful little gaze became even more pitiful. "Ow all, part, eat, light, okay." Tang Su said he had finished eating, but to his surprise, he really finished everything. Tuanzi was about to cry without tears, and he lay down on the ground with a fit of anger, closing his eyes. "I haven't received a single bite of this outrageous wealth." Tang Su looked at the enraged Tuanzi and burst into laughter. "You can't eat bamboo tube food. You can eat roasted bamboo shoots in bamboo tube." She smoothed up her narrow sleeves, cut the unwanted tender bamboo shoots, and stuffed them into the bamboo tube food according to the shape of the bamboo tube rice. She deliberately lowered her pretty face and remained serious. "If you want to earn a lot of milk, you have to work on your own. In this way, sitting and baking, flipping the dough with your little hands, you can bake it well. Tuanzi suddenly raised Daoda's eyes and sat down obediently and began to bake bamboo tube food. In the live broadcast picture, the wild giant pandas are all at once, rubbing their little paws and trying to bake bamboo tube food. Serious little eyes, sparkling, with no temper left, clearly convinced by Tang Suji. The little one baked his own bamboo tube while trying to curry favor with Tang Su, helping to flip his bamboo tube over as well. The pleasing little gaze was like a little servant. The live broadcast room was so shocked that it cracked open. Sleeping slot. Sleeping slot. Sleeping trough. Animals are not allowed to become sperm after the Republic of China. They have seen wild pandas eating bamboo shoots, but they have never seen wild pandas doing agricultural work. Professor Ma from Daidu Wildlife Park just roast that Tuanzi is so angry that no keeper can stop it. As a result, the beautiful Hanfu girl from Bashu managed to make Tuanzi obedient with just one sentence. This Professor Ma opened his mouth in surprise and felt a slight pain in his face. He doubted his professionalism for the first time. More than 30 years of experience in panda breeding can't compare to a young girl from Bashu. Is the talent of the Bashu people for raising pandas engraved in their genes? The farmyard was knocked, and the people from the conservation station arrived. Chapter 9. Old Mansion Renovates Dreams, Love Courtyard, Youhuating. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. People have arrived in the protected area. Two uniformed little brothers arrived at the management and protection station of Wulong Nature Reserve. As soon as the two keepers entered the door, they were so shocked that their chins could fall off. What did they see? The most disobedient giant panda in the protected area, with the number 1003, Mengbao, is actually sitting next to Miss Hanfu, obediently doing farm work. Do you occasionally flip the bamboo tube with your paws? Evolutionary history can't sit still, hey. Panda cub number 1003 has lost its mother since childhood and never worries about being around its foster mother. He is mischievous and encourages his brothers to break free from prison, causing his foster mother panda to become depressed and fast. His foster mother has been replaced in two. Xiao, the head of the protection station in the protected area, couldn't control it and could only let the little guy play pranks on the base in the wilderness. But now, little Overlord 1003 is only cute and obedient to little girls. Two keepers rubbed their eyes vigorously. It's not even dark yet, they're already dreaming. The keeper approached the big ball cautiously, trying to take the little one away. But the Tuanzi also has a temper. The hard-baked bamboo tube food is still not good, and the dumplings will not leave. Proud and delicate national treasure, extend a short JIO and kick the hand of the keeper away. Ugly rejection. Proud national treasure, despised little JIO. The staff wanted to cry without tears. The bullet screen area is more popular. Tuanzi is not even satisfied with the keepers in the protected area, only being cowardly to the anchor girl. What kind of immortal day, envy me too. I don't like others holding me, I only like you holding me, I really like the double label Tuanzi. Help, life is so comfortable. I also want to go to Bashu to raise giant pandas, the double standard of giant pandas, Tang Sushin followed suit. She gave a bright smile to the two young caretakers. Tuanzi is waiting for the bamboo shoots to be roasted. Tuanzi is so good. After finishing, she will go home, isn't she? The stunning Hanfu girl has a sweet smile, rubbing the silly hair on the giant panda's head. The Tuanzi was delicately dressed by Rua, snoring, and Daodu's eyes squinted with pleasure. The eyes of the staff in the protected area have become more complex. Little Overlord 1003, how could he even give it back? Did you pull it off or do you have your head on top? Is this still the bully little Overlord in their protected area? They all awkwardly withdrew their hands as Webmaster Xiao recalled wanting to rub the giant panda. The joys and sorrows of people are not actually interconnected. The giant panda turned its head and threw them a proud and delicate face. What kind of bully, please call the Luan family Tuanzi. Little Jiao Jiao. The little one finished staring and poked out his round velvet head, affectionately rubbing against Tang Su's horse-face skirt, emitting a coquettish moan. Ow! The expressions of the two staff members were even more exciting. Tang Su noticed the voices of two maintenance station staff, which were very ordinary and different from the sounds she heard on the phone in the afternoon. She wondered if there were usually only two staff members at the management and protection station. Director Xiao was always at the headquarters of the protection zone, so was there anyone else? Bake the bamboo tube well and split it open. The fragrant bamboo tube tender bamboo shoots make the dumplings crave. The little one was scalding his mouth while trembling with his hot paws. He ate it with relish and even took a few big gulps of fresh bamboo juice. The lively eating behavior and wild eating and drinking show that the little one is very satisfied with this meal. As the giant panda nibbled on the tender bamboo shoots in the roasted bamboo tube, Tang Su noticed that the hidden danger on the top of the bun's head was gradually decreasing. The red progress bar displays 29%. The red progress bar displays 22%. The red progress bar displays 12%. After pouring the last sip of fresh bamboo juice, the Tuanzi let out a satisfying burp. Hiccup full. Tang Su's eyes lit up with surprise and saw the numbers he was eagerly anticipating. 0. The health risks of giant pandas have finally been reduced to 0. She happily raised the corners of her mouth, her smiling eyes resembling crescent moon, and the starlight in them shone brightly. The rescue mission is not very difficult, is it? She found that she quite enjoys rescue missions. Especially, hearing a large number of reward prompts. You successfully rescued a giant panda with health hazards, with a rescue rating of A. Reward green treasure box gift box, open the green treasure box and gift box to obtain. Junior crafting blueprint for the courtyard. Youhuating, mortise and tenon crafting skills, swing crafting gift package, ancient cotton bouncing skills, the dense fluorescent colors lit up, and a large number of skills and practical blueprints made Tang Su feel great joy in his heart. There are many rewards. Undoubtedly produced by the system, it must be a masterpiece. It's so enjoyable. She lightly touched the virtual panel in front of her with her consciousness and opened the elementary construction drawing of the small courtyard, which read 3 words. Youhuating. The original farmhouse was clean but simple, with only a rudimentary cottage outside the yard, belonging to an ordinary old house. The overall structure of the Youhuating drawing is very vibrant. The verdant ground is covered with winding stone roads, green bamboo houses, evergreen trees and several flower racks in the courtyard. Although the room size is not large, the scenery in the secluded flower courtyard is beautiful, and it doesn't feel monotonous at first glance. The colors are also rich, making it a fresh and beautiful small courtyard in winter. Tang Su held his breath and his eyes lit up. What a beautiful blueprint. Such a beautiful Youhuating, if it could be turned into a realistic courtyard, I don't know how beautiful it would be. Dream in Love Academy. She noticed a prompt next to the blueprint. Required materials. Bamboo, stone, please click to create and wait for the progress bar to complete the countdown for 3 days to obtain the Youhua court. Tang Su's heart was pounding wildly with excitement. Can it be automatically created just by waiting? Isn't this the same as game clicks? Fortunately, the overall structure of the Youhuating is simple and can be completed with just bamboo. The most abundant bamboo in the Bashu bamboo sea is bamboo. She lived alone in the old house for over 3 months, and there were not many people coming over on weekdays. The village will only discover a simple renovation of the old house a few months later, which will not arouse suspicion. Tang Su is looking forward to it very much. The old house has been transformed into a dream house. She looked at practical daily skill gift packages such as mortise and tenon making, swing making, and ancient cotton bouncing. She couldn't help but raise the corners of her mouth. I am truly the father of the system, really. Take flight. The reward score is A, and the gift is already so surprising. The higher her completion rate and score for future rescue missions, the more surprising the gift will be. She is eager to take on more rescue tasks. Ow! The giant panda cub emits a slender and gentle roar. The little one had enough to eat and drink, belched heavily, and reluctantly hugged Tang Su's leg, refusing to leave. The keeper of the protected area management station reluctantly spoils the path. Little one, your brother and foster mother are waiting for you at the base. Come back with us. The Tuanzi has a home, located at the training center of the Wild Release Base in Wulong Nature Reserve. The hearts of the fans in the live broadcast room sank, and they were all very reluctant to part. Where will Giant Pandas go? Are you really going back to the training center in the protected area? I am too reluctant. The Tuanzi was being urged by the keeper, shaking his head and he felt a bit angry. Tuanzi, hailed as the little overlord by the base, carefully moved to Tang Su under the shocked gaze of the keeper, with a red face hanging down. Tang Su crouched down. Finally, Tuanzi pressed his head against Tang Su's chest and hummed in a voice so low that it was almost imperceptible. Ow! Would you like to give me a hug? A clear heartfelt voice, causing heartache, transmitted to Tang Su's heart like an electric current flashing through. Tang Su gently embraced the big ball and scolded with a smile, little fool. She heard more voices in her heart. Ow! I'm not stupid. The giant panda responded with serious eyes, making Tang Su's heart tremble. Am I your friend? The giant panda tilted its head, its eyes flickering with starlight. How can you? After a while, the Tuanzi's cautious heart sounded. The little one casually lifted his head, with some anticipation in his eyes. Tang Sushin followed suit and softened. Can you ask me? What are you talking about, little fool? Isn't that what I'm asking you? The little tyrant Tuanzi, who used to be lawless at the protected base, is now in Tang Su's arms like a cute baby seeking grace and favor. The two caretakers at the management station were so jealous that their teeth were almost crushed. After releasing their fists, they took a deep breath and shouted in their hearts. 1003, you double-label licking bear, crawl for me. Sister, no, live dad. You start the class, and all the keepers in our protected area are kneeling and listening. Chapter 10. Timo Jie likes traffic. Get attention from big shots in the live streaming industry. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. A cough is coming from outside the farmyard. Coughing in waves, not pretending, it's a real cough, it sounds very painful and burdened by the illness. The expressions of the two keepers in the protected area immediately became serious, and they respectfully bid farewell to Tang Su. Thank you very much, younger sister. We should go now. The two caretakers picked up the big ball, their expressions no longer mocking, and their bodies were stiff and straight. Tang Su wondered why these two suddenly became so serious when they heard the leader or saw the gods. It's like when she was teaching in kindergarten and suddenly met the principal leading the district leaders in to listen. Who is the person coughing outside the hospital? The Tuanzi was carried away, eagerly humming and groaning, while his short hand waved wildly. Waiting for the Luan family. The Luan family will climb over the wall tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, no, the night after tomorrow, waiting for you in the bamboo forest. Tang Su heard his thoughts and smiled as he rubbed the little guy's face and plate. Well, I'll definitely wait for you. See you in 3 days. From a Hanfu girl, a promise with a giant panda. The figure of the giant panda's cub is getting farther and farther away. Outside the farmyard, a strange young man appeared under the millennium-old magnolia tree king. The moonlight lit up his slender figure, and Tang Su surprisingly noticed a hint of peace and tranquility in him. It is a peace that can infect people. The young man raised his hand, which was pale, slender, with distinct joints and clear undulating veins. Although he was dragging his sick body, his hands still contained tremendous strength. She didn't move her eyes, it was really a quiet and lonely figure. The young man spoke and let the cold wind blow open his collar, which was loose and slightly open, revealing his weakness and paleness. "Let's go." His deep voice was calm and composed, with a particularly elegant sense of fatigue. Although the voice was not loud, it exuded the aura of a superior. The two keepers in the protected area were both respectful and nervous, even the mischievous giant panda suddenly turned obedient. Tang Su unconsciously leaned back and quietly moved his steps in order to completely release his tense breathing. She only breathed a sigh of relief after the group left. Surprisingly. "Is it him?" The person who answered her phone. Tang Su remembered that the original owner's fiancée was also dragging a sick body, but the work unit was different, it was at the headquarters of Wulong Nature Reserve. "Even if I resign, I won't appear in such a desolate and remote mountain valley. It definitely won't be him. Moreover, if the man is really the fiancé of the original owner, he must hate her to death. The proud son of heaven, who once caught the attention of thousands of people, has an unlimited future. Suddenly, he falls seriously ill and is facing resignation, which is such a blow." What was even more devastating was that when the original owner heard that his fiancée was about to die, he made a fuss and rushed to the entrance of the Wulong Nature Reserve unit, shouting, "Get out of marriage," and using the most unpleasant language in the market to curse marriage fraud. Tang Su couldn't help but shiver all over. Hush. If the man just now was really a fiancé he had never met before, if he knew who she was, he might have torn her heart with his hand. Tang Su instinctively wanted to stay away from the disputes of the original owner, thinking about the agreement of the big group. "See you in 3 days. No matter how smart the wild giant panda is, will it remember the agreement made 3 days ago? Not very good, right?" She felt that the Tuanzi would definitely not come back, but she felt a vague and inexplicable expectation in her heart. The moonlight hangs low, and the night scenery on the Bashu mountains presents a mysterious and charming charm. The stunning Hanfu girl looked at the camera with a bright smile. "It's already late, that's all for today's live broadcast. For those who enjoy the rural scenery of Bashu, please give them a thumbs up and follow us. See you later." Until she finished broadcasting, fans couldn't stop reminiscing. Miss Anchor smiled and said, "I'm gone. I'm also a girl, but I found that I don't really like handsome guys anymore. Don't beautiful women smell good? I really doubt the anchor's ability to communicate with animals." The Immortal Live Broadcast Room, I made an edited video of the live broadcast and posted it on the forum. What did you do? Give me a thumbs up, Timo. Timo is also watching. Paimian, the founder of Internet Celebrity Anchors. Steady, with Timo Jie attracting traffic, Lu Ming from the live broadcast room of Bashu. See you tomorrow, Anchor Girl, but by the way, can we still see Tuanzi tomorrow? The first minute we can't see Tuanzi, think about it. The first live broadcast ends. The sound of prompts echoing in Tang Su's mind lit up her eyes. You have gained 1,200 fans in this live broadcast. You have received 4,600 likes. You have received 2 certified Big V followers. Your popularity has been rated as A. level. Reward 200 points for popularity. The Splendid Mountains and Rivers Exchange Mall has been launched, and points can be used to exchange items in this event. Mall data generation in progress. Baby pet bottle. Requires 40 points. A bag of sheep milk powder. Requires 60 points for points. Clamp 1 with tweezers. Requires 40 points of integration. 1 bottle of iodophore anti-inflammatory water. Requires 60 points of integration. 4 items appear. Tang Su looked at the 200 points in the bottom right corner of the virtual panel and was overjoyed. Her hometown in Bashu is clean and warm, but not wealthy. Belongs to impoverished villages. Even if you carry a burden to go to the market and sell some self-produced vegetables and fruits, you won't be able to earn a lot of money. The villagers will spend their money on the cutting edge. These items are never bought by villagers in normal times, and there is no place to buy them. Now that she has system points, she can also exchange products in the system mall and small shop, which makes her feel very satisfied. These daily necessities may be used in some places. She responded in her heart. Buy it and put it in the system storage compartment first. You have purchased baby pet bottles, sheep milk powder, tweezers, and iodine anti-inflammatory water, which have been stored in the system storage compartment for the host. Please take them out and use them when needed. Congratulations to the anchor for having 1,200 fans. Achieved the title of novice anchor. But please don't be proud, you are still a street bumpkin. Tang Su couldn't help but laugh and cry while listening. Does the system speak so straightforwardly? I really want to beat someone up. At night, Tang Su listened to the sound of the bamboo waves and sat alone on a bamboo rattan chair in the small courtyard. As a preschool teacher, she stood in front of the children at the entrance of the kindergarten, blocking a crazy man, and was stabbed in the heart by a crazy man. She caressed her left chest, feeling a faint pain in her heart. Before losing consciousness, she saw 5 children lying on the ground with blood and minor injuries, as well as security guards wielding sticks and fighting criminals. She doesn't regret it. If she didn't stop the crazy man, then those who were stuck in her heart would be the young children in her class and 5 broken families. Alas, it's a pity that I just obtained my teacher qualification certificate. It's not easy to get a teaching qualification, and she will also miss the old world. But as soon as she arrived, she would settle down and be able to travel parallel to Tang Xiaosu and return to her hometown in Bashu. Hearing the familiar local accent, she felt that everything might not be that bad. She scanned the small courtyard. The farmyard is clean, simple, and everything is good, but it's a bit too bland. She lit a dim yellow light at hand and drew the ideal small home in her notebook with the light. Since she has arrived, she must live well. Transforming the barren and simple courtyard of our hometown bit by bit. Strive to achieve financial freedom in the impoverished hometown of Bashu. It would be even better if we could gain recognition from the villagers and improve the negative reputation of the original owner. Moonlight is peaceful. The stunning Hanfu girl, dressed in warm-toned lighting, lowered her eyebrows and lowered her eyes as she slowly designed a cozy home. The warm and sweet scene is as beautiful as an antique painting.